a survey with Business Insider, and it had to deal with technology trends. And one of the first questions we asked was, what is the biggest trend in the technology industry to look out for in 2015? Now, I'm not going to read them all. I'm just going to go to the quick highlights. Increased monetization of big data, wearable technology and related applications. So when I turn to you, what do you see as the trends in 2015 in technology, and where do you see the opportunities? Similar to Russ had pointed out big data and the opportunities that are out there. What are the rest of you seeing? Steve, do you want to tackle this one first?
No, I mean, we see a lot of big data plays and a lot of things we're looking at. I mean, that's sort of their, and I'm trying to get a grasp on it myself as to how much value there is. But a lot of the plays we're seeing out there are, we're going to do X, but the real value proposition is the data that we're collecting, and we're going to be able to sell that data, and that's where we're going to make our real money. And I see a lot of it out there, and quite frankly, I'm trying to get my arms around it as to, how valuable that data really is. Who are the purchasers? How do you organize that data so that it's actually helpful? I'm being slightly cynical. But I've seen so many presenters to me saying, well, we're going to do this and it's not going to make much money, but the data we're collecting is going to make us all rich. And I'm slightly cynical about that. That is definitely something we're seeing.
So, Rob, would you say it's right now there's no dominant player and it's kind of fragmented in the big data market right now?
There's a lot of people putting a lot of money into big data.
Right.
A lot of people. That very deep pockets. So, I mean, you're talking about a company like CA that has years and years experience. But you talk about Splunk, who's already out there, and they have the ability to raise capital when they need to get a fairly high valuation, but for good reason, because the market opportunity ahead of a company like that is tremendous. And then you look at somebody like Facebook, who does it internally. They are tremendous in terms of taking the data, and I think in the next 2 years what we'll see from them is taking all that data and almost evolving into a consumer delivery company, where they're now introducing video. Video for them is really a way to mask advertising, video advertising. So they're really doing a lot of things using big data. So there's lots of different ways to use it, but I think there's a lot of people who have really deep pockets already in the space. I think it's hard for a startup to come in that space.
And Chuck, besides that, what other opportunities do you see?
Well, I think there's a little, just on the big data thing, I do want to say one thing. I think big data is getting squeezed down. We hear a little bit about it more into a metadata approach. So big data just gives you a large trend of something. Metadata tells you more, zeroes in the advertising piece that's targeted. And then the question is, as someone said a long time ago, there's going to be so much information on the internet, you're going to start to not believe it, because you just can't filter out anymore with the access of all this data, what's real and what's not. So the ability to, I think, risk business is onto a little of that in terms of getting through it and punching through the quality of this different data, not only the big data, but the metadata to the individual, and then that broadening out into the physical space like beacons as they are. We also see a little bit more of a trend back to enterprise opportunities, not just apps that are on the phone, and apps are more or less disappearing into things that are more embedded, so people don't always want to download an app. They expect Wi-Fi to be there all the time, now, more than they did 3 years ago, which was they might have to pay for a while ago. So apps that are becoming now more embedded into just your phone, they're just there. And that's about relationships, the other thing is Internet of Things. We're starting to see Nest and things like that. Thermostats that you put up. It's telling you now that if commercial products are being advertised on TV, then the Internet of Things is starting to go away, where the cloud becomes less important, and what's happening on the edge, and the stop sign talking to the car, and what's embedded in there, or the traffic light, is going to start to
well, the funny part is it circles back to data. But as these are working, is data being collected and behavior being studied.
Just to piggyback something you said, which is interesting, when you talk about the Internet of Things, there's an opportunity that we're spending a lot of time on, which is inside the enterprise security. So we have a lot of identity and perimeter security as a space that's getting a lot of attention. But if you think about inside the network, it's how do you protect robots that are on the assembly line? How do you protect the Internet of Things, that, access to your house and things like that? So we're looking at call it industrial cybersecurity or industrial security, and that's a place that we think is kind of the next place that security might evolve to. But it's amazing how many big manufacturing companies have very little security inside their facilities.
Yeah, I think studies should, was it like 5%, 6%?
So we're spending a lot of time on this space.
Sounds like a great opportunity. Bob?
I spend a lot of time looking at sectors like medical and human relations, human resources, which we just talked about today, and media, which has always been of great interest to me because of my background in marketing and advertising. And I think there's a tremendous need, as the young lady talked about, that, what's it called, urgent consult, to improve data management in the medical field. My daughter, one of my daughters, is a trauma surgeon, and she works like 15-hour shifts, and usually an hour to an hour and a half is data management for her. What happened during the day, what happened to this patient. It's a HIPAA issue, and it's also a personal issue. She has to follow the process. So it's huge in the medical field. Everyone personally hears about this every day, especially with what's happened in the medical fields of Obamacare and HMOs and things like that in our own personal life. So when we go to the doctor, we're sometimes shocked at the service level that we get from a doctor when we go there. It's like there's chaos sometimes about, who are you, why are you here, do you have an appointment, have you been here before, the whole thing, everyone's been through that. So the data management area is really important in medical and human resources. And I also just discovered, as was talked about earlier, that in media, just in the video production side, other than the smartphone, it's been dominated by static ads, which are still at banner ads, but the transition from static advertising to video advertising has not been mastered yet. It's very, very expensive. You have disruptive technology that are trying to push their way into a traditional food chain, where agencies have been producing, digital or traditional agencies have been producing video spots, and then they control the distribution of those spots through the digital agency. And the cost of production for those spots has been really, really high. And there are now disruptive technologies where you can get video spots, and it's being demanded by the just driving need for content, TV sports and everything else we heard about today. How do you get that cost down? So it's really, really, there's a tremendous opportunity from an entrepreneurship standpoint to get to manage that issue, that disruptive issue of data management in medical field, human resources field, and entertainment, media and entertainment.
Okay, great, thanks. So this is the big loaded question. So there's been a lot of PR related to companies that have been going public, Alibaba, Box, and about the big values that are out there. And you're out there doing the investments and meeting some of the challenges and expectations of the entrepreneurs when you go to these companies. So I want to talk to that for a second, and then I just want to read the last piece of that survey, which was, our question was, the tech companies today has led to a debate about whether or not we are headed for a tech bubble. In your opinion, today's tech companies tend to be, and of course 59% said overvalued. I think most people would say that. So talk to us about what you're seeing out there, the expectations when you're in, and the most important, when do you foresee the tech bubble? I know it's a real tough question, and if you want to shy away from it, that's fine. But, let's go into that crystal ball and give us a sense of what's out there. So Bob, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I don't think there's a tech bubble.
No, but when? Is this
I don't think everybody's tech bubble.
Again?
I think that the valuations on my level are really, really hard those valuations. They're not premium valuations. The entrepreneurs know they basically are selling all the time.
Have a valuation. And then everybody, we have a friend and an associate, co-investor with us that was just in the box. Got in very late, and expected a wild valuation, but expected to double his money in a year and a half. This was about the IPO. When the musical chair music stops and there's one less seat, then that bubble will burst. And I lived in operating in managed services and cloud solutions during the 90s. It's all that.
And 2000.
And 2000, when tech was active. And so there is that going on. But the fundamentals of what Bob is saying is true, which is that entrepreneurs may try to hang off that, especially in Silicon Valley, and say, yes, but we're like the box, and they just went public, and we're only asking for 1/10 of that valuation. But that's the best way that I know when you buy high and end up selling lower at zero. And so I do think that that's going on because, as I mentioned earlier, 69% increase in capital in the venture market this year. It has to go somewhere. It happened to us when I was fortunate enough to be in the golden age of private equity. We started out paying 2, 3, 4 times, call it 4 times in 2001. Great time to be investing with big checkbooks. And by the end, we were investing at 7 or 8 times because we had to. And we sat there and we would say, well, what are you waiting for? So that always leads to lower. Financial cycle is, by definition, cycle cyclical. If we're in one now, but at the top line, the base level, this is the universe. We'll just shrink down to this, and it's fundamental for there's good companies doing good things. The technology is not the bubble of the financial cycles.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a tech bubble. It's usually an valuation bubble. Okay.
One observation that I just remember, was I was back in the late 90s, I was at a large mutual fund complex, and, the firm started getting involved in, this is a traditional mutual fund company, getting involved in crossover transactions or, private investments a year before the companies were intending to come public. We're starting to see some of that in those late stage kind of crossover investments. People, to your friend's example, looking to invest in a company 6-9 months before they come public, the idea that the valuations will be 100% higher than they are when you invested. One thing I would say is that I think that when you start to see the people who typically play in that space, not always the leads in the space, you're seeing other people that are typically in another business, basically getting into that thinking it's easy money. That's just a little bit of a warning sign to me that maybe that late stage part of the market is being exploited. The flip side of that is, and the market has changed, we were talking about earlier, but the market has changed in the sense that companies now are staying private longer. It started with Google staying private longer, Facebook stayed private longer. We're seeing companies stay private longer. So there is some reason for the Fidelities of the world to be involved there now, but my only observation is that you're seeing more people willing to put in money later at, almost public market valuations. And I think that's a little bit of a warning sign. I think what we're really talking about here is earlier stage, and I think that there's two things. One is, yes, it's about raising the money at the stage a lot of these companies are at, we talked about today, but I think maybe equally important is trying to find the right partners that have invested with you at this stage that can mentor you and introduce you to the right people and get you on a path to raising capital and growing. And I think that's equally important. And so it's not just about the money and getting that high valuation. It's finding the people who can invest at a valuation you're both comfortable with, that are the right people to get you ultimately what you want, which is the higher valuation later. So I would just say, I think there's two different kinds of market. I think what we're talking about here is earlier stage, and I think there's plenty of opportunity at reasonable valuations still.
So Rob's point is, if you take away anything, when you don't just look to the money, and I think there's not a person in this room that wouldn't say that, your investor is your partner. You want the right partner. So don't ever lose sight of that. So, and lastly, just what you said, which was important, We're actually starting to see, institutions starting to come into the market, but they're still not the lead yet. They're all of a sudden, they want to dabble in this market. So hopefully we got a little bit more of a run. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to add, but I'm just kind of piling on at this point. I mean, but it is, again, I'm talking probably earlier stage than these guys are talking. I view it really very much like the real estate market. I mean, it's very active, and we've seen deals and talked to deals in New York, Boston, Silicon Valley, but also in, we invested in one recently in Boulder, talking seriously to a couple guys down in Research Triangle Park in North Carolina. And those markets are all different. I mean, we talked to guys in Silicon Valley, and they're like, give me your money or don't give me your money. I don't care. Here are my terms. And we talked to other people in other places, and it's like, what do you mean, what are my terms? You tell me what my terms are, right? They'll accept whatever terms we give them. So, I mean, it really is like real estate. I mean, there's going to be local bubbles in the early stage, and then, places that are underserved. And, I mean, once you get to later stages in the public markets, there's more disclosure, and then that's an argument I don't care to get into as to whether there's a bubble at that level or not. But on a granular, when I'm talking to an individual company, you just have to have some common sense, and if the market's too high for you, you don't take the deal. I mean, that's what VCs do. We turn down 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10 companies do that.
That's generous. That's generous.
That is generous, right? 9 out of 10 would be serious.
That was great. I'm going to open it up, Ed, for a couple of